Good day. I'm Abigail V. Santana and I'll be discussing about financial assumptions and forecasting. But before that, let's have a brief recap of the previous lecture, which is about the action plan and the Gantt chart. So, the action plan shall give life in the chosen course of action. It must follow the principles of STRAM, which means specific, time-bound, reliable, attainable, manageable, and profitable. So, the Gantt chart, on the other hand, shall reflect detailed scheduled activities in the implementation of the plan. Both of these are essential because, as according to Dr. Casurao, a plan without action remains just a plan and it couldn't do anything to improve the entity's situation. So, the next sections under the financial plan proper are the financial assumptions and forecasting. By the end of the discussion, the students must be able to, number 1, define and understand financial assumptions and forecasting. Number 2, learn how to establish and present financial assumptions. And number 3, learn how to write and present forecasted financial statements. So after coming up and choosing the best alternative course of action, analysts will have to create well-reasoned estimates or the outcomes of the plan should it be implemented, starting from the financial assumptions, forecasting, and projected financial condition of the entity. Establishing financial assumptions and forecasting are critical components in writing a strategic financial plan. These sections will reflect the possible outcomes of the plan upon its implementation. These sections are to be developed by the proponents based on the data gathered, analyzed, and showed. In writing and establishing these estimates, analysts must remember to take into consideration the statement of the problem as well as the main and specific financial objectives aimed in the strategic financial plan. So, I'd like you to refresh your memory about some of the previous lectures for all of those stated, for this will be vital in establishing and creating the following sections. According to Dr. Casurao, financial assumptions are a series of assumptions on the possible outcome of the chosen alternative course of action should it be implemented. In developing financial assumptions, it is important that you utilize the financial data you have presented in your research, for they also must have basis. They are based on the analysis of the cost, expected returns, and other factors. They should be clear, realistic, and must be in accordance with the data and analysis provided throughout the financial plans. Financial assumptions are written in bullets or numbered. Forecasting, on the other hand, is the process of estimating or predicting the future financial outcome of an entity's cash, inventory level, cost of sales, receivables, the owner's equity, and other relevant figures. This is according to Dr. Casurao. Moreover, the analyst must be able to do forecasting with the use of tools such as regression analysis, ARIMA or the autoregressive integrated moving average, naive models, and observe the figures in the next 5 years, assuming that there is no intervention of this plan and everything being equal. Additionally, the analyst's own financial assumptions will also be the basis of the relevant figures established on the forecasted financial statements, which is according to Thugu's Financial Planning and Forecasting book. The following are the examples of the financial assumptions and forecasted financial statements from a 5-year financial plan for OHANA Trading Corporation from a group of finance students from PLM. So, as I've said earlier, financial assumptions are either written in bullets or numbered. The chosen alternative course of action in this financial plan is the use of perpetual inventory system with purchase blanket. For the current situation of the OHANA Trading Corporation, that is their best option to improve the entity's inventory. So, the above financial assumptions discussed earlier are established in relation to the chosen alternative course of action's possible results should it be implemented, which are the following. And as you can see, these expected results from the proponents are linked to the financial assumptions, where, for example, since they expect that upon implementation of the plan, the inventories will be monitored well to avoid overstocking and understocking, and that it will help decrease the inventory purchases by 20%. It is their financial assumption that there will be an improvement of the net profit by a 4% decrease in cost of sale due to excessive purchases. Next here, we have the example of the forecasted financial statements, also from a 5-year financial plan for OHANA Trading Corporation. But before that, the following are the financial objectives of the 5-year financial plan. So, as I have stated earlier, that this will also be relevant in creating the forecasted financial statements along with the financial assumptions. So, the forecasted financial statements must reflect the important accounts such as revenue, cash, inventory level, cost of sales, receivables, owner's equity, and other relevant figures for the succeeding year. So, in the following financial statements, the proponents must be able to reflect in there the forecast that should the plan be implemented, it will attain the financial objectives and answer to the problems identified. And of course, the expected results and established financial assumptions. Here is an example of the forecasted balance sheet for the OHANA Trading Corporation. So earlier, one of our financial assumptions stated that there will be an increase in cash by 20%. So as we can see, it is reflected in here. The increase of the cash account of the entity from the year 2018 up to the year 2022. So by year 2022, the cash of the entity would grow by an estimate of almost 9 million. So the liabilities and equity section are also shown, as it is important that the relevant figures be reflected, such as the cash revenue, for the purpose of consistency. According to Dr. Casurao, all the accounts in the financial statements can be forecasted. So next here is an example of the forecasted statement of comprehensive income for the OHANA Trading Corporation. So earlier, one of also our financial assumptions states that there will be an improvement of the net profit by a 4% decrease in cost of sales due to excessive purchases. So let's see. We can see here that the improvement of the net profit is evident, starting from the next year up to the succeeding years. Moreover, one of our specific financial objectives presented earlier stated that there will be an increase in net income by 50% every year for the next 5 years. So let's see. And yes, as we can see, the financial objective has been attained here. Now, here are the example of the forecasted statement of cash flow. And here, the forecasted of changes in stockholders' equity. So, to summarize all the things that I have discussed, financial assumptions and forecasting are two of the most important and critical components under the financial plan. Financial assumptions are established by the analyst to show what the entity may achieve upon the implementation of the plan. These statements should be clear, realistic, and well-reasoned. It plays a key role in the forecasting and affects the way the forecasts predict the relevant figures in the entity's financial statements for the following years. In forecasting, several tools can be used, like the regression analysis. This can be used to develop and establish the expected figures in the forecasted financial statements should the proposed plan be implemented, and this is according to Dr. Casurao. So, the next lecture is cash budget.